All right, what's up, everyone? This is the Osmo.com NHL Hit the Ice Show. We've got a big six-gamer to talk about on Friday. Nice little Friday slate. Nolan, how are you doing this Friday afternoon?
Pretty good. Tried to get in as much overlay as possible, take advantage of that. Did not work out as usual. Find like whenever I try and stuff lineups in at the last minute, just doesn't work out.
Oh yeah, I did the same thing, but probably a worse strategy on my part. I entered one in the spin. I can't remember who I stacked, but yeah,
Oh,
it's tough to pass on that overlay. Like
it
it's just
hurts
it's really
too.
tough.
It's so hard to pass on, yeah, and it hurts when we've been like touting that Washington three line for so long.
I
Like it
know,
feels
God.
like 10 days we've been on that line telling people to roster it, and then it goes
And
off.
yeah, just right away. Like I ended up with two shares. I think I had like four or five, and then I recrunched,
Ah,
and yeah, I was bad.
out.
I was pretty mad at myself, but like
Yeah, me
I
too.
wasn't really on them, so I didn't feel like I needed 5% or 3 or 5% or whatever. So I just like whatever. I'll leave them in with whoever the top two price stacks were, and that was
Yep.
it. Going to be another Calgary Chalk night. Yes, it is going to be another Calgary Chalk night. What's up, Llama? How you doing? Good to see you catching a show. Hopefully the whole show. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Bobby asking for the like button. Yeah, if you could give us a like. We haven't really given you anything yet, but if you do just like what we do in general, feel free to give us a like. It of course helps us out. What do you think about ownership today, Nolan? Now that we're off of
So
last night. That slate's behind us. Now we can
yeah,
talk about last night or
yeah, yeah,
tonight. I
absolutely.
mean, yeah,
I think we're both consensus. I think that three spots stand out to me as the most owned lines of the night. It's going to be Calgary one, Toronto two, and then I think probably Toronto one maybe will be the third most owned. Just Philly getting drubbed, Brian Elliott goal back to back. So I think Toronto. That's pretty obvious that they'll be popular. And then after that, I think you're going to see like pretty spread out. Carolina one, Columbus one, two, Vegas one or Vegas two. I mean, Vancouver one, probably maybe the fourth highest owned stack of the night. So yeah, I mean, it's other than Calgary that's priced up. I think Toronto two is easily the best play of the night, and I'm gonna just try and get overweight on that chalk tonight.
hmm
Where you think it's gonna be?
yeah. You kind of have to go with one, like either the expensive chalk or kind of the mid tier chalk. I think. So you've got like Vancouver two, I guess they are technically. So I'm assuming you're talking about the Patterson Besser line, right? That's
Yeah,
gonna be chalky, yeah.
yeah,
And then you've got Calgary one up top, kind of I think in some people's minds league of their own, and they should grade out as like the top overall stack tonight
mm,
in terms of raw points. But I really like some of these top defensemen. That's going to be a surprise to no one, but I do think there are multiple guys you can go to, like the Geos, Edler. I really like Tyson Berry, and then there are a couple other ones in like the 5K range that I like as
yeah.
well.
They're a
So
lot.
yeah, so I'm definitely with the Toronto chalk. It's just
Yep.
much more affordable when you go
And
click
I
over to
also think
DraftKings.
like there's just not a lot of places to spend down on D on this slate. Like I'm having trouble finding really anything other than maybe like Gerard, Stetcher, Savard. Like these are not
Yep.
great options down low. So it's definitely to your advantage to spend up on D if you can tonight.
Yeah, Mike, I just clicked on the DraftKings pricing, so we're gonna go with DraftKings per usual, except probably tomorrow if I'm mad at the contest again, then we'll go FanDuel,
I like it.
just because I'm petty like that. But yeah, we'll go through DraftKings pricing. 6 games, we'll be able to go pretty in depth on each of them.
Maybe they'll inexplicably have a 25,000 person contest tomorrow on DraftKings for no reason.
Yeah, okay, we can talk about that, not the
Sure.
actual playing of the
Before
hockey.
we dive in, yeah.
So I think we both took a bath last night as far as money lost. I just got completely crushed,
Mm,
and I played some tiers actually, so I won money in that.
good.
But yeah, not even close to getting my entry fees back. Um, but yeah, so they ran the spin last night. They usually choose like higher stakes. They have a big tournament on like a Tuesday or Thursday, and then they kind of have like the lower stuff gets lagged behind, or vice versa. Last night they ran out the $4, which is a good price point, but and it
Hmm.
was 150 max. But they also had the 360 spin with 50K up top, so everyone that plays heavy volume is going to play that. and it's just less likely that more people are going to 150 the $4.
Yeah.
So now I'm afraid they're just going to just take away the 4. They're going to never try that again. It overlaid huge. It just wasn't the night for it. Like, you got to pick your spots.
You also just don't need to go that high. You don't need 23,000 spots, right? You need, you can get to 15,000, right? Like
Yeah.
$8 normally what, 7,000, 5,000,
yeah. 7,
somewhere in
yeah.
there,
Mm-hmm.
and then the $3, 3,000. So if you're splitting the difference and you're assuming that a lot of these people and like people from the 20 max will enter more, then you should size the contest at around something like 15,000, or like size it small and see if it fills. And then, okay, if it fills, then you move up. Like, why would you do a 23,000? I'm not complaining, got overlay, but it just for the long-term health of it, it's like you'd think they're sitting there going, well, we can't fill up NHL contests because they didn't fill that 23,000. Well, don't do 23,000. Like, pick a middle ground.
Don't do 23,000 on a night where you've got, like, they had a good mid-tier. They had the $40. So if you're running that in addition to stuff, I have no problems with that. But then they also had the 360, which is a huge tournament that people that only play hockey on Tuesday and Thursdays. That's the reason they only play on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So that's like the priority for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just really frustrating. Like, you could see it coming. As soon as they put the $4 out, I was kind of monitoring it all day. And I don't actually know how many entries it finished with. I know it was about half full with an hour before lock. So I'm sure there was a push made at the end. But yeah, it was...
Once people realize that, like, I just started like filling out lineups, as many as possible in that amount of time, right? So it does make, like, it's always going to get a little higher than you think it is, but
right.
I mean, 4,000 or 5,000 per person overlay.
Yeah. So I really like the price point. I like the 4. I like the 5. I've come to like the 8 a little bit more. But yeah, they're just now they have the excuse that they don't need to make contests that big or even try.
Yeah.
At the lower stakes. So
that's true.
Got to about 17.5 out of 23K. Okay, that's more than I thought. But yeah, there's always a little bit of a push right at the end. So hopefully they give MME a try tomorrow on their contests. I'm not hopeful. I just plan to play on FanDuel tomorrow and call it good, play a little lighter volume. That's fine. But I know for the most part FanDuel has the $4 every day, including Saturdays and Sundays. So that's what I'll be doing if DK continues to abandon these big MME tournaments that I think are becoming more and more popular for like the niche sports. All right, so that's enough ranting on DK. Maybe they'll surprise us. But let's go through these 6 games. We got a really fun one to start out with. The Flyers and the Maple Leafs, 3 implied total for Philadelphia, 3.7. For the Leafs, Brian Elliott and Frederik Andersen, struggling Frederik Andersen in net. Talk about these Leafs lines and Zach Hyman here.
Yeah, so we have an interesting leverage spot here with Hyman as a game time decision. I think he's got the flu, so I don't know if he'll play. He was a late scratch last time, so I don't know if that means like he was like just starting to get the flu or what. We won't know until line rushes, but that presents an interesting opportunity to get in on Toronto 1 if he does play at lower ownership. Like, you know that he's always low owned to begin with compared to Tavares and Marner, so he'd probably be like 2%, I think, if he actually does end up playing. But he might even end up on the third line. I don't know. I would assume he goes back to his usual spot, but we both really like Toronto 2 here. And then Flyers, I don't think they skated this morning, so I don't know if we'll know anything new. At least, the very least, though, the Flyers lines were back up to getting some decent correlation last game. The Patrick Drew... Oh, have we got new lines? Oh, Voracek's back.
Voracek. Yep.
I totally missed that.
No, that's good.
I'm asleep at the wheel here. So Voracek back tonight for the Flyers. Looks like he'll be on line with Couturier and Lindblom, which was their old second line. And then Giroux slides down to the second line with Patrick and JVR. Yeah. So I don't know. What's your take here? You think you're going to see Toronto 1 go up against the Couturier line or something else?
I think it's going to be Tavares, Marner, and I think there's a good chance Hyman plays. So, again, game time decision. I'm treating it right now as if Hyman's in. I'll probably, just because I have time, make another crunch. So I'll just crunch again with Hyman out and Marleau up because that's what they were doing for a good amount of time in the last game. Tavares usually gets opposing top competition. They don't really want Matthews going up against really good shutdown centers like Couturier has been. So I would just, like, logically, it just makes sense that Tavares would go up against Couturier, Plus, they've been going up against opposing top competition. That would leave Matthews to go up against the Patrick line, which I think is a better matchup. You still got Giroux there, so it's not like just a cupcake matchup or anything. But the Matthews line is just too cheap, and you've got Philly coming off a back-to-back here, like huge total for Toronto as well. I'm not the biggest Vegas guy, but when the total gets up around 4, they're obviously going to catch a lot of people's eyes. So I know what I'm getting into as far as chalk here for Toronto too. I still am playing some Toronto 1, but I'm actually playing more Philadelphia 1 than Toronto 1. So that might be a hot take. I'm not exactly sure. But I think I do give the edge to that matchup or I give the edge to Philly 1 in that matchup, assuming I'm right on the line matching. And then obviously you've got this third line for Toronto that's really no more than a filler for me. So I know people like to play them a lot. I think Kadri's great at 4,500, but I just don't really love the line if it's going to be Kadri, Brown, or Moore or Marleau. So Marleau just hasn't looked good at all.
Anytime we see Connor Brown in a line, like if you look at the with and without splits from him, he's such a drain on every single line that he's on. So although he can be good if you're playing with elite players, I try to avoid playing him as much as possible. One thing I was going to say about this game, so I like the odd game stack here, given how porous the Leafs have been and how bad Anderson's been. But another possible way to get some unique Leafs combinations is to just roster Anderson in your stacks. I think he's been pulled in 2 straight games. He's been awful, but also 2 really tough matchups against the Blackhawks and the Lightning. So maybe this is a spot to go back to him at reduced ownership, because I think a lot of people are going to be scared off of his recent performances.
Yep, and I like to correlate, so I'm going to end up with a lot of Freddie. He's probably going to be my highest exposed goalie. It's looking like right now.
Nice.
Just kind of trying to forget about the last couple of games. I mean, the last one especially, I didn't watch 2 games ago for the Leafs, but the last one, that was the rivalry night game against the Blackhawks, and they got down 4-0 really quick. Within 1 period. The last 2 goals weren't his fault. The team just looked awful. And then you saw just a completely different team in the second and third period for the Leafs. I would really doubt that they come out like that. Like, maybe Anderson's just broken. It's possible, but I'm treating it as if it's normal and his team just kind of let him down here. So not full confidence by any means, but I think it is an okay price, and he almost always sees volume when he plays.
Yeah, absolutely.
I look thrilled. I don't know. I mean, I'm doing it, so whatever. But if you don't want to ride with me, I don't blame you. I'm not saying he's been good, but I just don't think he's been as bad as being pulled twice. All right, so Riley, or what are you doing with these Philadelphia lines here?
Yeah, I'm basically just using them in like some Toronto stacks to just in case this game does go off, and that's about it, because I'm not really. I have so much Toronto. I have so much Toronto 2 tonight that I'm not really doing any Philly lines other than stacks. So
yeah, I'm not getting to. I didn't have any Philly defensemen in my last crunch, which is weird. Like, I like Provorov. He's playing a lot of minutes, and I think his shot volume is okay. But there are some other guys that I like a little bit better. So I don't know if I had him in the cheat sheets. If I do, I'll take him out, because he's a guy I thought I was going to get to, and I was getting to earlier in the day. But now that I've tweaked some stuff, he's kind of been left out here. So yeah. Riley, same thing. I just like some other guys better than him.
You're not getting to Morgan Riley?
No, because I'm not forcing in the correlated defenseman. So if I was, I would get to a bunch of them. But right now I'm not.
I think Riley's one of my personal favorite plays. I kind of like him. He's just been really good lately. His minutes are up. Power play 1 quarterback. 27 minutes last game. I don't know. Just feels like he's in a pretty good spot here tonight. I mean, obviously expensive. So if you want to pay down for someone like Barry or somebody else, that's fine. But as much Giordano and Riley as I can get in my lineups tonight, sure. I think for me.
How many lineups are you running tonight?
I think I'm going to run, I'm going to 20 max out the $3 and then just kind of maybe pop in like 10 lineups in the big $5 on DK.
Nice. I'm doing 150. If there's 150 to do at a reasonable price point, I'm usually doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
150 to $5?
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next one. We've got Carolina and Columbus, 2.6 implied total for the Hurricanes, 3 for the Blue Jackets. Peter Mrazek and Sergei Bobrovsky, double A grade Sergei Bobrovsky. What do you see here? Anything new?
Yeah, I think that Columbus is basically going to stick with these lines, the same lines that they had last time. No surprise there. They scored 7 goals. And then on the Carolina side, Ferland is probably going to be back in for the Hurricanes. Looks like they're just going to keep Svechnikov on the second line, and then Ferland back to the third line, and then I think it's McGinn going down to 4, and Sumalimolin, I can't even remember what his name is, Sumaniminin, is out.
Okay. Well, there you have it. I don't even know who you're referring to. So, I don't know, but that guy is out.
Manalayan.
Yeah, what do you think about matchups here? Because, what do you think about this game in general? Like, are you going heavy on any line here? You probably know kind of where I'm going, but do you see anything here that you really like?
Yeah, I'm gonna point chase a little bit with this Carolina 2 line. They've only got 17 minutes together, but they do lead the slate in scoring chances for and high danger chances for. So they've been really good, and they're getting lots of ice time. So I'm gonna have a few of those options. Columbus 1. I don't know what you think the matchups are going to be. Columbus 1's going up against Carolina 1. That's a pretty tough matchup. So, but they're also priced down, and I think they're going to go under own tonight. So I might just use them as a bit of a leverage play on the field, and then Carolina 1. Can't say enough good things about them. So also probably going to be under owned. Yeah.
No, that makes sense. Right, I was saying in the chat earlier that it kind of feels point chasey, the Duchesne line, just because they went nuts. Especially Josh Anderson just went crazy. I think he had 12 DK points or something like that. I don't exactly know how the matchups are going to go here, which is kind of giving me pause. But I think we might see some Jenner line against Carolina 1. It doesn't really matter for Carolina 1. I think you can play them against anyone outside of that one really terrible game they had maybe last Friday. They've just been exceptional. Full power play correlation as well. You always like that. And I think the Duchesne line might see more time against the third line for Carolina. So I don't know. I still don't think Carolina's like a team I love targeting against, but neither is Boston. And maybe this Duchesne line is just going to be awesome. So the price is okay. I just kind of limited exposure. I was getting to way more of them than I should just because my projection, it looks like Osimo's also like Josh Anderson, so he kind of brings up the value of that line.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna have a little bit of Columbus 2, Columbus 1. I think I'm probably gonna be underweight on them, and then overweight on Carolina 1 for sure.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with you. I think Columbus 3 is a nice cheap option as well if you want to fit into high-priced defensemen. I'm going to ride the Columbus 2 wave and just trust their limited sample size numbers, and hopefully they aren't too owned.
Columbus? Then, you think Columbus is going to be owned?
No, it's Columbus 2. Hopefully they aren't too owned just because they're hot. I don't know. And then I'm also going to just go with Osimo as well. And I wasn't on Bobrovsky. We've noted many times before about facing the Hurricanes and the shot totals, so at least he has the upside of getting lots of shot totals. Bobrovsky's up and down. He could let in 5. He could get a shutout, so who knows? Sounds like a good GPP play. Just make sure you're covering your bases with the other side of this game as well. Yeah. And that's all I'm going to do here, and just kind of use this as a sort of secondary game that I'll be pairing with a lot of Toronto stacks.
Yeah, so Carolina 1 is going to be one of my higher exposed stacks. Like I said, I just don't think there's a matchup that they can't overcome. At least they haven't shown me that outside of one really, really terrible game. And the Dubois line's not, they're not perfect defensively by any means. So even if they go up against them, if they're going up against Riley Nash and Brandon Dubinsky, give me some of that all day. I don't know if I would agree with the double A value here for Bobrovsky, but I think it's a little overrated playing goalies against Carolina now. Everyone's caught on to that strategy at this point. But if you look at the data from years past,
it's just not as lucrative because now they're actually finishing.
Right.
So
and just look at this top 6. They've got a really good top 6 if you just look at how the two lines have been playing. Svechnikov up there, I think rightly so. And then Ferland, he's been really awesome this year as well. So I don't know. Yeah,
Carolina second in the NHL in high danger chances for over the past 10 games.
yeah, they're always creating quality chances. They're just finishing them now, but people still aren't playing them. Which,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I'll play them. Like, I'm not scared of the 2.6 implied total here when a line has been so dominant at 5-on-5.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
What about defensemen here?
Yeah, not getting into much. I'm just prioritizing Riley and Giordano tonight. So, but I guess like Seth Jones grades up pretty well. Zach Werenski's price is up after that. After that one big game the other night. Columbus pretty good on the PK, right? So, kind of getting off the Carolina D a little bit. Just rather pay out the extra money if I can, and then maybe like Savard as a cheap one-off.
Yeah, so Savard's kind of the guy I'm targeting the most in this game, oddly enough. It's more of like a block shot thing and a price thing, so I don't think he's great, but he is one of the guys that I'm going to in the below 3K level because there really aren't that many. So he's a guy that's playing 20-plus minutes, blocking shots, and we know Carolina's going to put up a bunch of shots. They do almost every game, at least shot attempts. So perfect for a guy like Savard that's super cheap. And maybe some Dougie as a one-off. You see that Osmos Graves doesn't like him, but they don't really like anyone on Carolina. So it's mostly going to be about the forwards for me here.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Next one, we've got the Vegas Golden Knights and the Dallas Stars. 2.9 implied total for the Knights. 2.5 for the Stars. Marc-Andre Fleury likely going up against Khudobin. Bishop left. Was that last night or 2 nights ago? But anyways, what else do we know here?
So changes on the third line for the Vegas Golden Knights. Peary is out and Nosek draws back in. I think he's injured. So, and then we won't know anything about the Stars. I'd assume that they're probably going to roll out the same lineup. Just 2 notes on the Stars' usage. Esa Lindell was on the top power play unit last game, which I don't think has been listed on most sites. So that's something to keep an eye on. They were using 2 defensemen with him and Klingberg. And then Ben was not on that line at all last game. I think they were on for like 1 or 2 short shifts. So, you can pretty confidently stack hints on that Seguin Radulov line, and that's about it.
Yeah, so it looked like it was going to be good for a while when they played. Maybe it was a few nights ago when Hintz scored the 2 goals. So like that's exactly what you want if you're full stacking because he's the guy that people are leaving off, especially for that price. But yeah, I think I agree. I'd be okay leaving him on here, and I am leaving him on here in my few Dallas stacks that I actually have. Did they play last night? I get the Knights just ran together here. I believe
Dallas
they did.
Last night,
yeah. Okay, so that was last night when I saw Bishop leave.
Yeah.
Okay.
And another note on that, Dallas, the third line got a ton of ice time last night. So that's the Faxa Como.
Yep. They're gonna get shut down. Yeah.
Shutdown rule, right? So there's not really applicable in this game, I guess. I don't know. Like, would you target one of these top Vegas lines? Like, just seems like.
I mean, I like the second line. So I'm hoping the Faxa line goes up against Carlson, Marchessault, Smith. I think that Faxa line's going to be okay defensively. I mean, him and Como have actually done an okay job when they've been in the shutdown role. So that's a bit worrisome if they treat Vegas 2 like the top line here, which I probably would. But who knows what they're thinking here. I mean, Carlson scored 40-plus goals last year. Like Marchessault and Rise Smith and Carlson together last year were incredible, and at points this year they also have been. So hopefully they treat that as the top line. It's always difficult trying to get into some of these coaches' heads and keep track of who considers who the top line. But I'm just going with Vegas 2 here. That's my main target. Pacioretty, Stastny, Stone. Speaking of dominance at 5-on-5, they've been incredible so far. And you understand why with Pacioretty and Stone and then a solid center and Paul Stastny. So he's just got to pass them the puck and let them do the scoring here. And hopefully they get to go up against the Seguin Radulov line, or Seguin Radulov and Hintz line, and then the second line as well. I think they could generate a lot of scoring chances against those 2.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to go under-owned. Like they have a 2.9 total, so it's not like overly high, but and it's a tough matchup against Dallas. I think Dallas just seems to play a pretty slow pace of game, and they seem to limit chances pretty well. But as a pivot play, like they're probably gonna get almost no ownership. So I kind of like that. And then you got Khudobin in net, and like he can blow up anytime.
He played half the game last night too.
Did Bishop leave?
Yeah, Bishop left.
Okay.
Bishop was because he had a shutout going, and he left the ice like in the middle of the period too. It wasn't like even a Crawford situation where he just didn't come out. It was like middle of the second period. So Khudobin not fully rested. Vegas, I think, is going to be peppering him here. So, I mean, if you wanted to go with Khudobin, like he's had a really good season. I'm just not really getting
he's
to
just
a lot.
Kind of all over the map, I think. Maybe that's just my perception, but that's the way I kind of view him.
L'Esperance. L'Esperance, cool name. Sounds like a cologne. Yeah, that does sound like a cologne, Jack. I do agree with you. All right, anything else here as far as stacks or goalies or defensemen you're targeting?
No.
Okay.
Maybe like I don't mind the Vegas D, Theodore or Schmidt, Miller.
Theodore and Schmidt I like, especially Theodore. So he's cheaper than Schmidt. He's playing a few less minutes per game. But, man, Theodore, since, like, the turn of the new year, has just been attempting. Like, all of a sudden, he's just attempting a bunch of shots. Like, he's got multiple games with, like, 12 and 11 shot attempts just out of nowhere. So he's going to not look great in projections for a lot of people unless you do some manual intervention there. But, yeah, he's really taken his offensive game to kind of the next level, it looks like, in this last little stretch. So I'm willing to kind of ride it out, and I don't think you need a ton to be over the field on him. I think he's going to be like a 5 or 6% owned guy, and like I'll gladly double or triple that tonight.
I like that. I like that call. Power play 1. What more do you want?
Yeah, exactly. All right. We're good here, I think. I do like Fleury actually as well. Like I mentioned, I'm playing a lot of Vegas too.
That's a nice contrarian goaltender too. Yep. I don't think he's gonna get much ownership.
No, I don't think so either.
You're gonna have any Dallas one?
Maybe I kind of take that back. Actually, 2.5 implied total against. He'll probably get a little bit of steam here. People just think low scoring game. They like to target goalies in those games. I don't know.
Makes sense. Are you gonna have any Dallas one?
Yeah, like 5% maybe. I don't know where that's gonna fall on the field. I'm probably in like 5 to 7% range, depending on how many more times I crunch. But yeah, what about you?
No.
Out of 20, out of 20, you'd have one.
I think 0.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would get to them in 20, honestly.
Yeah.
So I don't blame you. All right.
Good.
Ducks and the Avalanche, 2.4 implied total for the Ducks, 3.1 for the Avs. John Gibson expected to go up against Semyon Varlamov. Gibson did not start last night. It was Ryan Miller, so should be Gibson. But what else do we have here?
God, those Ducks goalies. I'm glad you caught that in chat yesterday. Otherwise, I would have had some serious Gibson. Not that it did anything anyways.
Yeah.
But so the only note that I have here is that the Avalanche haven't really kept their lines together. So I just wrote up in power plays like McKinnon grades out really well for Osimo. I'm not sure that I would stack him with those two though, because like he's just all over the map. And Brassard and Comfer aren't exactly exciting plays. One thing that intrigued me was the possibility of doing the Osimo 3-2-1 stack with McKinnon, just using him as a one-off and then getting to some of these like Toronto 2, Nathan McKinnon, and then like Besser, Pettersson, or something like that. But yeah, so I don't really know what to do with this game. Anaheim on back-to-backs, Colorado just kind of rolling 3 lines right now. At least the Duck lines were together last game, and I think that's about it. I don't really have any hot takes on this one. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I like McKinnon a ton. I'm not super crazy about his line mates, obviously. I think Comfort is okay, and then Brassard's super cheap. So they're coming up a lot for me on projections, but like when I look at the matchups and then you kind of factor in that they are switching it around a lot, so maybe it's not great correlation there. Like,
what about Barry McKinnon?
Oh yeah, I'm all over that. Like, yeah,
right. Like,
give me some of that. I'm trying to full stack. I don't know if I'm gonna make an exception here for Colorado. Because looking at last game, like you said, McKinnon played with Brassard.
Rantanen?
Yeah, so he played with Brassard the whole game. So maybe Brassard is the one that stays on there.
Yeah, you're right.
Um,
So they alternated Rantanen and Comfer, it looks like, on that
yeah.
wing. So if you wanted to go with like a little power play stack there, or like put Rantanen on there, that seems like maybe they'll go to, but like that could also not last too, right?
So Brassard. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, just kind of going off the top of my head here, what I'm gonna do probably is put Rantanen with McKinnon and Brassard. I know that's gonna give me some differentiation in terms of the stacks I play with them.
That makes a lot of sense.
Like, I don't. Is Comfer on the top power play? Have we confirmed that? I'm trying to look at.
I think whatever it is right. Whatever they have
right.
on
Okay.
I'll double check.
I think that is
Comfer,
right. Okay.
yeah, Comfer Barry, Comfer Brassard.
Yeah, he did play with McKinnon last time on the power play. So did Brassard. So maybe what you could do is just go McKinnon, Rantanen, and one of Comfer and Brassard if you're trying to full stack it. It'll probably spit out Brassard for the most part if you use projections, just because he's $1,600 cheaper and you're playing two expensive forwards. I actually don't know what I'm going to do with this now that I'm looking into this a little bit more.
Interesting, right? Because like if you play Rantanen and McKinnon together, you might be able to get a bit of a leverage spot there. But
so I'm definitely going to get exposure to Rantanen with McKinnon. Whether that's me running all my crunches with them together or me kind of cutting off the crunch and then throwing in some McKinnon, Rantanen, Brassard / Comfer lineups. Yeah, I'll definitely have some lineups with McKinnon and Rantanen together, which I usually would not do, but
yeah,
just based on how much they play together.
Yeah, absolutely, 13 minutes on ice time together last game, so I think that's a totally viable.
Yeah, and it's the Ducks, so I know the Ducks have been better. They were not better last night. They got trounced by the Arizona Coyotes, the GOAT team. I don't know. What are you doing with the rest of this game here? Do you like anything on the Duck side?
Oh, I got a good Pedersen quote coming up. Remind me. No Ducks for me.
No Ducks? All right.
I'm out.
By the way, did Alex do the 3-2-1 stack?
I didn't look yesterday.
Maybe we could look at that at the end.
Sure.
So
he's been doing it on smaller slates, I noticed, so maybe that's when he tends to employ it, but
tonight might be a good time then.
Yeah.
All right. Do you like anything else on the Duck side or any other stacks?
I don't know. I'm just having trouble getting to them. Back-to-backs, road games, 3 lines, propensity to switch up here. I mean, I might try and throw one Duck stack in there as a filler, but I'm not super excited about them.
The shoreline has stayed together, so
yeah,
that's kind of half the battle when you're playing on a team like this. And they do have talent on both their wings.
They scored last game too, right?
Yeah. So I think they've got the best chance of sticking together. Sprong or Richie could get kicked off that line at any time. Like, it sucks, too, because you've got a bunch of cheap skaters and you're going up in Colorado where they just take a million penalties every game. So, like, I want to get to more of these guys, but it's probably just going to be...
They don't well for Osmo either, though, so...
Yeah.
Coming off a loss, pretty bad team, back-to-back, on the road.
And then, like, where do you go for defensemen here, too? Like, I don't know, dude. Yeah. It's rough on the Duck side. On the Avs side, I love Tyson Barrie. I like Sam Girard at 3,100. And then you could probably play EJ as well for 3,900. No Nemeth tonight. I don't think you need Nemeth. We'll save him for another slate. Unlock the nuts on another slate. Very surprised he didn't have TB2 with Richardson last night. I don't think I had any Richardson last night, which is an oversight by me. Like, got to play my boy, but yeah, that was an oversight. So, too bad. Sometimes you're a fish like me. All right, should we move on to the next one? You got anything else here?
What you gonna have some Varlamov?
Yes, I am gonna have some Varlamov. So. Yeah. I usually just play kind of the chalky goalies, or the goalies that the teams that I'm playing a lot of, and Colorado's going to be one of those teams. So, yeah. What about you?
Yeah. I'm gonna have some of him. Yeah, he's one of my. I'm kind of like, I don't know if I'm correlating as much as I normally would tonight, but I'm gonna have a few of him for sure.
All right. Rangers and Flames. We've got a 2.6 implied total for the Rangers, 3.6 for the Flames. Alexander Georgiev going up against David Rittich. Anything new here?
So I don't know what's going on with these Rangers lines. I don't know if they skated
DFO
this morning.
updated now.
It's updated now? Okay.
Yeah. So it's Kreider,
So
Zibanejad, and Jesper Fast.
It is. Okay, good. So, yeah, they played together last game. Who got booted? Kreider and Lemieux?
Did Lemieux get booted too? Yeah, so
thought-
that's why the
my
lines
chat
were
said
all
that.
messed
Yeah.
up last game.
So Kreider got booted for that dirty play on Roussel, who's now out for the rest of the season. And then it just looks like everything's kind of similar to what we've been seeing recently. Strome, Edel, Nemesnikov, Lemieux, Howden, Buchnevich. Yeah, all kind of the same stuff from them. So, and then the Flames, I think everything's the same as well. Neil skated today; he might be back soon, so I can lose some more money on him shortly. I'm looking forward to that.
Is he? I haven't heard of his name for a while. I thought he was just done or retired or something. I guess the main thing here. Well, first of all, do you think these Rangers lines are going to stick? This is how I
don't
had
see
them.
why they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like they're not known for their in-game shuffling, really,
Sure.
right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. What do you think? How do you think this matchup goes? Is it basically going to be Calgary 2 up against Rangers 1?
I think so, but like looking at what Calgary's done lately in some home games, it hasn't been as consistent with just the Calgary 2 hard match against opposing top lines. This would be a really good time for them to do that, though. So, yeah, that's how I'm treating it. Calgary 2 versus Rangers 1, and then Monahan, Gaudreau, and Lindholm get to kind of roam against this Rangers second and third lines. So, Calgary
Nice.
1 should be your top.
Chalkiest.
They should be your chalkiest stack, probably, or they should be the chalkiest stack. Whether or not you're exposed to them the most is a different story. I'm not exposed to them the most, so it's a little bit of a stand that I'm making. Going underweight, it's not super intentional. I just am getting a ton of value, and like I said, I am getting a lot of these top defensemen that grade out really, really well for me. So one being Giordano on their team. So kind of prioritizing these mid-tier stacks and hoping I don't get completely burned by Calgary 1 with another 20-point DK outing by Gaudreau.
Yeah. Oh my God, that line had like 45 points between it, didn't it?
I think it was like 40. Just outrageous. So
Did I tell you I had this line? Not to like have a long bad beat story, but I had a Werenski, Vlasic, Columbus 2, Calgary 1 line, and I switched Calgary 1 out for Winnipeg at the last minute because I'm an idiot.
You would have had the nuts.
Right?
You still needed Bishop,
I'd be
though,
retired
too.
right now. I'd be in Florida.
Yeah. You still need Bishop. That's the thing. Like,
You needed Bishop for that one?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, Louis Mister. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
I guess good.
He just had the nuts lineup. Like,
Yeah.
until Calgary 1 went crazy.
Yeah, I
Like,
saw
he was
that.
winning by
And
like 12
he had
points.
a 20-point lead.
Yeah.
I've
He's
never
just-
seen like someone a first have a 20-point lead, and I think it was Jason Zyman in chat that was second or coming for that day, or somebody like in chat was second, 20 points back. It was nuts.
Yeah. So just an absolute explosion. You could see the same thing happen here.
Yeah.
Calgary 1 was
Absolutely.
a little bit due. So, I mean, I don't feel great about it, but sometimes you don't feel great about
Pretty
all
good
the plays
matchup.
you're
Like
making.
I'm gonna just try and meet the field on them tonight. Yeah, and try and get some unique Calgary stacks in there. So it's gonna be where I'm gonna go tonight. I'm gonna guess that Calgary 1, Toronto 2 is the most popular combination on the slate.
For me, it's not. Like, I think I only had one of those in my last crunch, which I like. You know, I'll play one of the chalk combinations with 150, but then just
You gotta
get away
you gotta
from
play
that.
it once.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Did you say what you were doing with them?
Yeah, so I'm going in. I think I like Giordano, so I like that whole stack. So I'm definitely on board. And then like I think the Rangers the Rangers PK has been the worst in the NHL this year as well. Most scoring chances against on the road. Sorry, just on the road. I mean, yeah, worst most scoring chances. I think third most high danger chances. So, and then a fair amount of time shorthanded as well. So this is a plus spot for their power play too.
Yeah, Gio is the guy. Like, even, I'm going to try to force him in with Calgary 1, but
Yeah.
he's going to be the guy, my highest exposed guy tonight. I just,
Yeah,
you can always Brent Burns it and just not get shots on net or whatever, but he's going to attempt a ton of shots here unless Calgary 1 can just cycle in the zone for 5 minutes and score every time. Like, Giordano is going to get his share here. So whether or not he puts the points up is a different story, of course. But hopefully he gets some points with these secondary lines for my sake.
I got a nice line for you to stack with them. Still pay up for D in our next game.
Next one? Oh, third line?
First line.
First line. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm with that too. All right, let's do it. 2.6 implied total for the Devils, 3.4 for the Canucks. Mackenzie Blackwood going up against Jacob Markstrom. Talk about this game. Do we see any changes here?
Yeah, so Antoine Marcel out for the season for the Canucks. Bit of a loss for them. It looks like they're going to put Louis Eriksson on the top line along with Goldobin, which is better, I think, offensively for Horvat than we've seen in the past with some of the plugs that he's had to play with. So both those guys are super cheap, and both of them, like Eriksson's a former 30-goal scorer, not the same player once was. Goldobin's got 20, 30-goal upside. So that's a really cheap line, and I think it's going to go under own tonight just because everyone's going to go to Pettersson and Besser. Pettersson quote from today: "Maybe I need to be more selfish and score more goals. I'm always looking to pass and set up my teammates, but I haven't scored in a few games, which bothers me. So I'm going to be more selfish tonight."
I'm going to be more selfish tonight, he said?
Yeah, tonight. That scares me.
That sounds like
that's like
yeah.
Pettersson engage mode, and like, so I'm on board, especially with the AA grades from Osimo.
He's probably
Besser and Pettersson.
Yeah, he's probably just saying that just so when he's got 6 2-on-1s with Brock Besser tonight, that
That's right.
the D-man just takes him and he just drops it off for a Besser Hattie. But
I like it.
Yeah,
yeah. So I wrote him up. He's not shooting a lot. He's had some pretty bad games recently. I've been trying to get back on before he goes ham, which hasn't worked out well. But at least Besser's shooting a lot, so you do have some assist equity if Besser goes off. Yeah. So I mean, Devils. We've noted. I would guess Horvat or Beagle will get that top line for the Devils, though they have split up their talent a little bit with Nosen. So Zajac, Coleman, Nosen, and then Palmieri's down on the second line with Kenny the Nuts, Agostino, and Kevin Rooney. They didn't skate that way last game, right?
No, they didn't. Just Agostino just carrying every line to glory. Osimo doesn't have a grade from again. Oh, it's because his name's Ken Agostino, I think, on one of the sites. So that's probably why. I would think he's probably got an A or B value grade, probably like a C or D grade. I'm not going to hit him up to tell him to fix that. I don't think it's that crucial to the slate. But yeah, I would think he's somewhere in that range. So don't freak out that Kenny Agostino doesn't have a grade here. As far as how I'm attacking this game, it's Vancouver, and that's really about it. Like, Vancouver's 2 is not Calgary 1. They're not at that level. But, man, they are, I think, really cheap and fully correlated on the power play. The Devils are just a disaster. They tried to split up Zajac and Coleman and Palmieri. I don't think that's going to help really at all. Mm-hmm. It's going to be probably Horvat going up against Zajac for the most part. There's not a bad matchup on the Devils here. So if Pettersson's going to shoot more, great. If not, we'll take 3 assists here because, Vancouver, I think, has a huge advantage here. So maybe even more than what the Vegas totals imply. So just love the top 6 here. I know Eriksson's not great, but I will be playing him in full stacks with the Horvat line. Yeah,
and you can even get creative and have some power play 1 stacks with Horvat and Besser and Pettersson, which I think is viable in a game like this with the Canucks possibility of going ham. So
yeah. What about Edler? What do you think of that price at 6K?
Yeah, I'm just gonna spend up for Riley and Giordano. I know it's probably a good play and probably a contrarian play, but I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
you?
I'm torn on what to do with him because a lot of his value, just from the last couple of years, comes from like blocking shots. I don't know how much New Jersey's gonna be able to generate here. So that's my worry with Edler. Maybe you bump his projection down a little bit, but he's also shooting a lot too. So
Yeah.
maybe that offsets, and he's just earned the 6K price tag.
It's probably like a fine play, but I think that when you're looking at GPPs, like, I mean, he does have some upside because if he scores a goal, he's going to get those blocked shots probably, and he's going to get the shots. But you pretty much need him, like at that price, you need him to score, I think, to hit his value, right?
Yeah, I mean, look at the other top price defenseman. Like when a defenseman's 6K, you either, you want some combination of a guy who shoots a lot, will block shots, has the ability to get a bunch of blocks, or just like a sick power play matchup. And like Gio has that. Morgan Riley, you could argue, has that. I know the Flyers kill has been better lately, but yeah, I'm trying to figure out where he kind of lands on the pecking order. Tyson Barrie too. So
I feel like in a cash game, I think it's a really smart play because there's the floors there. But I think in a GPP, upside wise, Riley and Giordano just have so much more upside than he does. Like I don't like you could see a 2 or 3 point night from either of them. I don't. Whereas I think the odds of that are a little bit smaller for Edler. But that's just my take. You're also going to get way reduced ownership if you want to go that route. So
on Edler, I think he's going to be pretty owned.
Think so?
Yeah, because I think a lot of people like the 4-3-1 build, or 4-man. So they'll go Pettersson, Vesser, Levo with Edler. It's like 4 of the 5 power play 1 guys. So I think he's going to be sneaky popular. I'm going to have somewhere in the 10 to 20% range of him, but I'm not going crazy on Edler. He's probably still like $2,000 on FanDuel, so I'm sure play him over there. I'm not playing FanDuel tonight, but I'm going to check his price quick. I'm sure the chat's going to beat me to it, but whatever.
Sorry, what were you checking?
Edler's price. Oh, I don't have it on the sheet.
6
on FanDuel. Yeah. What is he at? I can't find him on here. Anyways, I'm sure he's free. Yeah. Edler cheap on FanDuel. He'll be on. Yeah, okay. That's outrageous. So, play him there. I don't think he's necessary on DK in, all your Vancouver 2 stacks.
Yeah. So. How popular do you think Vancouver 2 is going to be?
Well, I don't know. Let's just go through kind of what the mid-tier stacks are going to be. We didn't really talk about Calgary 2 that much. I didn't end up there a ton. But that's going to be,
I think, but.
Yeah, I mean,
and they're going to get the Zibanejad line, right? So they get the worst matchup.
True. So I think McKinnon line's going to be popular as a mid tier. I don't know if anyone in that Vegas game is going to be.
I don't think Brassard. Like I would say, Brassard comes in at like 2% ownership.
Interesting.
That's my guess. Maybe 4.
Maybe Columbus 2.
Columbus 2. Columbus. Like in terms of mid-tier stacks or low?
Mid-tier.
So yeah, Columbus 2, Toronto 2 will be all of it. I think like that'll take most of it.
And
then there's not
Colorado
much else.
1. Colorado 1. If people are full stacking with Brassard and Confer.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's it. Maybe Philly 2.
I think they're going to be behind Toronto 2 there, but I think they're going to be ahead of everyone else that we just mentioned, including Calgary 2. So.
Yeah, that's fair. They're priced at a point where they're like not quite in the range of filler stack, but not quite in the range of elite, Like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like they're...
Yeah, they're going up against AHLers here, so...
Yeah.
We saw what Calgary did to them. Yeah.
Josh Stack, Vancouver, let's go. 9-4.
Yeah. All right, so one thing... did you have anything else before we kind of get going?
No,
I wanted to check,
good.
Alex.
I just like that Horvat line, I think. Pop it in there if you want a contrarian play.
What about the Devils side? Anything there?
I think it's worthwhile. Like you got a little Corey Schneider revenge narrative, maybe. Is he starting?
No, it's Blackwood.
Forget it then.
Yeah, the Devils are tough. They are tough.
Why would you do that? It's poor Corey Schneider.
Yeah, I don't know.
If it's Blackwood, I like the Canucks even more.
Yeah, it is Blackwood. What am I looking for here? Cruncher, Rewind, NHL. This is free for everyone. You guys can do this. Go on Rewind. Go on our site. Go on Fantasy Cruncher. You can rewind slates and literally crunch. If you have projections from last night or whatever, feel free. You can look at contest data, which I'm doing right now. Let's see if he did it in the $4. He could play the $4, right? Last night, I'm pretty sure he could.
Yeah. And I think anytime there's like a 150 max and it's above, I don't know what the cutoff is.
All right, let's see what he did here. Full stack with Ottawa 2 or Ottawa 3 and Tampa 1. Full stack here. Ottawa 1, Tampa 2, Detroit 2, Tampa 2. Oh, okay. So it looks like he wasn't doing it, at least his top few lineups. I don't know if that held true everywhere.
I think like I have to ask him, but I think maybe part of it is like slate dependent. So like if you get like a small 3 to 4 game slate, what you have when you're stacking, you're just avoiding these duplicate lineups, which you're almost guaranteed to have. And then the second thing is like when you have I think it was a few slates ago, the Buffalo slate. There was a 4-gamer, and it was Buffalo Edmonton, and he had like just like a bunch of really highly graded centers. Like it was like Eichel and McDavid and McKinnon or something, and so like maybe he's like pumping in these highly graded, highly valued centers, and then doing a 3-2-1 around each one of them, and sort of keeping one of them as a one-off. Yeah,
I don't know why he would do it at lower stakes. And obviously he's a better and smarter DFS player than me. So I'm trying to wrap my head around why would you do it at lower stakes where there's more entries? You know what I'm saying? Like, because at the top, like you see in this $40 tournament, if you just scroll through a lot of these lineups, this guy right here, YCM Matt, he's been awesome this year. He's been one of like arguably the best player, NHL DFS player this entire year. Always full stacks. You scroll down, Louis Mister, not always full stacking. Peter Gibbons, I don't know off the top of my head what he's doing. Looks like this is a full stack.
I don't think Peter's a big.
He's a full stacker, but like Alex is a full stacker. Tom full stacks 3-3 at the very least. Testosterone 3-3. So like a lot of these guys that are maxing this tournament are doing 3-3s. That seems like it would be a spot where you might do a 3-2-1 because not only are there less entries, and you can forego a little bit of upside in your 3-2-1s with less entries. Like you don't have to hit the absolute nuts. So I just that's what I'm having trouble with. I see him had 11 of the top 15 spots one night with unique lineups. Yeah, he doesn't run that many uniques. So a little bit different of a playing style. When he hits big. So
sorry, can you say that again? What was he doing?
That's YCMMAT. I don't know how that's pronounced, but he runs less uniques than I think a lot of people do. So when he hits, like you see, 5-10 entries of his in the top 50, whereas when Alex hits, it's usually one lineup or two lineups or Testosterone or Tom. Although Tom has completely destroyed a couple nights in NHL this season, so Tom's more of an aggressive player, I think, in basically all sports than Alex, where Alex is just really awesome at diversifying his portfolio of lineups. So, I don't know. There's a ton of different ways to be profitable, and obviously what Alex is doing is he's doing it for a reason, I keep saying. But, there's a reason he keeps going back to it. He's testing it out because he thinks that there might be a possible edge there.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll have to ask him and get back to you. Figure something out.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Guys, answer this tweet on Twitter. I believe we still have this giveaway going on the Osmo.com Twitter account, Osmo_com. You can follow that. I will post the link to the tweet right here. And all you're going to do is answer the question if you could attend any sporting event, past or present, which would it be? It could be anything. Alex wrote Malice at the Palace. Couldn't tell if he was trolling or what, but you just tag 2 friends and you retweet it, and then you can win a free month of Osmo.com Premium, which is a pretty good value for free. All right.
Nice.
I will be back tomorrow. I'm going to look at the schedule quick so we can get an idea of when the stream is going to be.
Sure.
And maybe try to predict what the slate's going to look like, I guess. Looks like there's 3 afternoon games, then a 9-game, 7 Eastern slate. Okay. So we'll probably go live around 1 Eastern tomorrow. So 12:30 to 1 Eastern, somewhere around there we'll go live. But I'll let you guys know in chat. And I'll create the YouTube video so you guys can see when the actual time is if you're not in our premium Slack. But if you're not in our premium Slack, get in the premium Slack. Promo code Hit the Ice, 50% off your first month. of Osmo.com Premium. All right. Sweet. Good show. I will be digging into some more stuff to see, try to get in Alex's head, I guess, over the next few days. And we'll review on stream and such. But thanks, guys, again. Looks like we had a good crowd today. Anything more to say, Nolan?
Toronto 2, let's go.
Let's do it.